Hi guys, DCRC here, and I'll be doing another video today, this time with Ransom Rollings again. Yeah, start that time of week again. That time of the weekend. And today's episode, I'll be talking about mandatory effects. What I mean by mandatory effects is effects that, when sent from the field to the graveyard, they basically activate. For example, mandatory effects such as Sandgang, or in this case, for people who play Chaos Dragons, know this card very well. Eclipse Wyvern. These two cards are basically mandatory effects, and when they're sent to the graveyard, it activates no matter what. These for examples. How do you know? Actually, I won't say that. Now, here's the part where I'm actually going to say cards that actually can miss their timing. Talk about cards that actually can miss their timing. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. This was also mandatory effects as well. Cards that actually can lose their effects are special cards that not many people are aware of, because a lot of people have played the game, think their effects basically activate once they are sent to the graveyard. This is not true, because some cards actually require a special type of time to actually activate. Special type of time. It's hard to explain. You have to know your rulings around Yu-Gi-Oh! To explain, to actually understand this. For example, here's one that can actually lose a timing if you time it properly. If you actually can time it properly, but you have to be quite smart to actually try that. Light Pulsar Dragon. This card can actually lose its timing when another chain is activated beforehand. Basically, for example, you chain MST to another card, then activate Mirror Force. Mirror Force will destroy the monster, and Light Pulsar is sent to graveyard. After that, MST will resolve, and basically you can select one face down card or spell trap card, whatever, one for you to destroy. How does Light Pulsar lose its effect? For one, Light Pulsar has to be the last. Well, it basically has to be the bottom of the chain for its effect to actually activate. Reason why is because it says when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, from the field to the graveyard, you can target one level 5 or higher Dark type dragon type monster in the graveyard and special summon it. What I mean, you might have spotted by now because I said you can. You can means it's optional. Optional effects activate it's basically optional. Basically you can choose to activate it or not. But when it comes to a chain link itself, optional effects don't actually apply to that. Only mandatory effects actually apply to the field itself. Another example is Shining. Shining is also an optional effect as well, because it says when this card is sent from the field to graveyard, you can target up to 2 of your banished elemental monsters and add those to your hand. You can means optional. It's basically optional effect. Optional, choose whether or not you want to activate it. So if it's to basically, if you see a card that says you can, it's optional. So yeah, but if it doesn't have the word says you can, that card is mandatory, which means it has to activate no matter what, even if it's sent to the graveyard. Even if it's once it's sent to the graveyard. I'll just Sandgain's effect. It says when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, add one monster with 1500 tag or less from your deck to your hand. It doesn't say you can because it's not optional. Basically, when sent to the field to the graveyard, to the graveyard, you basically have to add one monster with 1500 attack or less from your deck to your hand. If you don't have any, Sandgain's effect won't go off. It'll automatically go off no matter what. So Same thing with Eclipse Wyvern. Eclipse Wyvern, it says if this card is sent to the graveyard, banish one level 7 or higher dark or light type monster from your deck. If this card is in the graveyard and is banished, you can add the monster banished by this effect in your hand. So Eclipse Wyvern has a mandatory effect once it's sent to graveyard. When it's banished from the graveyard, it has an optional effect of basically you have an optional effect to basically add the monster back to your hand. You can choose to if you want to. So yeah, chain links are very important when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, for the TCG. The OCG is quite different. You can choose when to activate the effects, which is much more easier. So yeah, that's all I have to say, I guess. So yeah, chain links are very important in the TCG of Yu-Gi-Oh! So you better understand what I mean by chain links. Chain links are very important when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! They are basically the game, how the game works. It's kind of messed up in a way, but that's how the game works. Each effect activates in their own type of way. Optional effects, mandatory effects, those are two types of cards that work when they're played or sent to graveyard. I don't know. When they're activated, basically. So yeah, you learning the chain links and how to read the card properly is very important when it comes to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I hope you guys read up on your Yu-Gi-Oh! Rulings. I'll see you in my next video. Ciao.